the Spirit Sessions podcast. I'm your guide, Katie Silcox, bringing you your weekly self-love soundbite. Join us, where I'll help you find your true spiritual home, where every single aspect of you is holy ground, holy ground, holy ground, holy ground.
This is the Spirit Session podcast with Katie Silcox. Venga chicos, empezamos. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hi everyone, Katie here. This podcast is intended to inspire you, educate you, and most importantly, support you on your journey towards knowing who you really are, that inner self, that inner teacher. I am not a psychologist or a medical doctor and do not offer professional health or medical advice on this podcast. If you are suffering from any kind of psychological or medical issue, please do the right thing and seek help from your qualified health professional. Hello, beautiful listener. I am here. I've got my dog Ojas by my side. She is panting a little bit. She might be barking. She might be crying. She's definitely very needy, so needy that she will not let me even record this podcast. So apologies if you hear my dog heavily breathing on you. Speaking of heavy breathing, it is a time for going deep. The winter solstice is upon us. And it is the time of deep yin. During this time, we are encountering, at least those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, the shortening of the days. We've been feeling it. You may have been noticing it gets dark earlier. You might want to sleep more than usual, and also that there is less light. Every morning, that sun's coming out later and later, and this 21st is the longest night of the year. It doesn't have to be the dark night of your soul, but it is the time for deep inward journeying, for questioning what we want the new year to be about, what we want to let go of and not bring with us, and what intentions we're setting, what aspirations we are bringing energy to. And I'm not a huge proponent of hardcore New Year's resolutions. Oftentimes they don't work because they're made with the conscious mind. But this is a time where we can do that good energy work of intention setting and holding our aspiration in front of us as a meditation and seeing that aspiration out in front of us filled with light. And also being able to bring our attention back behind us and feel infinite potentialities and infinite possibilities. That is the 21st. That is the deeper meaning of the dark night. That is what darkness is about. It's about, I'm not aware. I think that my life is this one thing, and my egoic sense of limitation thinks that it's one thing, but there are more possibilities, and I open myself up to that. This 21st, you can commemorate this, you can ritualize this. Our ancestors certainly did it. I went to a wassail ritual a couple nights ago, and sitting around a fire at night, bundled up, having a little candle, holding an intention, praying that the deer don't eat our fruit. It was at a apple cidery, so they wanted to make sure they prayed to the deer and ask the apples to be abundant. You know, these are things that we can do right now. It's a time to pray for what you want 2024's harvest to be like. And we can be speaking literally, but we can also, of course, be speaking more mythologically and spiritually. Like this year, it is my intention that, fill in the blank. Do a practice this 21st. Light the candles. This is one of the most important things. Our ancestors in my tradition lit something you may be familiar with called the Yule log. And that was all about really calling in that light, but also burning up 2023 and asking the ancestors to be with us, asking the nature to be in our favor. It's also about community. And so going caroling with people, singing, hip, hip, hooray, right? The light is coming back. We have this metaphor, as I've talked about in past episodes with Santa Claus, of Christ's return, the return of the light, the dying of the light, and the inevitable resurrection. That is pagan nature religion. And you can be a part of that in your own way. You can create your own shrine. You can create your own altar, light your candles, write down what you're ready to let go of, or just be open to an even deeper way of practicing on the solstice, which is not using the egoic conscious mind to let go of things. I get kind of annoyed when I hear that so often. Just what are you willing to let go of, or what are you not bringing with you into 2023, or what are you willing to let surrender? And it's not that easy, because if we're doing it from the conscious mind, all of us have tried to let go of bad habits or bad behaviors, things we've deemed as wrong or bad. And how does that go? We can't always just drop it that easily. But what we can do is begin to open to what we did experience in 2023 and be open to the possibilities and potentialities to come forward that we may not even be aware of with the conscious mind. The only way we can access that is through being present right here and right now. If you missed my talk, it was the last episode on the divine feminine. Go back. And in that, there's a beautiful meditation that you can do on this winter solstice to become really magnetic in that way of opening and magnetizing, literally, that feeling of being somewhere in between heaven and earth, and somewhere in between material and immaterial, between this life and infinite time, linear and non-linear. So go back and do that meditation. But so any personal ritual is a good time to do that, ritualizing it on this Thursday, the 21st. And what not to do as much of. So it's a very dark time. It's a very yin time. And so the energies of yang, of outward expression, if you will, are lowest. And so we just want to kind of play it cool. It's not a great time to start on any big new endeavors that day. Not a great time to sign contracts. Not a great time to do a ton of excess sweating or exercise. It's a time to move slow and stay low. I know many of you have holiday parties, all good, but it's really a time of inward journeying and inward traveling, a great time to do journaling and therapy, prayer, ritual, meditation, long talks by the fireplace with someone you care about. Make a cup of tea, right? Put a hot water bottle on your belly or your lower back. Abhyanga, oiling your body with some warm oils, lighting candles. These are all ways that we can celebrate. And our ancestors did this. We light the menorah, we light Christmas trees, we make a wreath and put berries on it to remind us of the spring that will return. And so there's some super simple things you can do, but really remembering that sacred, setting those winter intentions is a great idea. We're also providing you guys with something new that I'm starting, which is the Winter Survival Guide. If you don't have the Winter Survival Guide, we're going to put the link in the show notes here, and you can get that by giving us your email. And what are the products that I actually personally use every day? And I call it Survival Guide because that's what's in our ancestry. Like, not all of our ancestors had electricity, and ours recently went out yesterday. And you can really feel how our ancestors had to do something that we call the squirreling energy. Gathering up all the nuts, getting really fat, so making our nests so we can survive. We take that for granted, right? That survival is so easy. But you can also set up a traditional Yule altar, and that involves seasonal berries, wreaths, greenery from your backyard, candles, traditionally oranges and apples, pine cones, anything made out of gold and light, candles to call in the sun, the light. It's a great idea. And then, meaningful things to you. So you can put different objects of sacred value for you on this shrine, and just really remembering that this time is about doing less, not more. Think about it. Our ancestors were really getting their deepest, longest sleep. Some of our ancestors would sleep 15 to 18 hours during this time. And so really making that time for sleep, giving yourself permission to be a little bit more prone to napping and these long winter sleeps, it's super appropriate right now. Yes, even for you kaphas out there, it's okay to get that sleep, especially during this time of the year. So I hope this was helpful for you. I know it was a quickie, but I'm always wondering, well, what should I be doing on this winter solstice? Simple. Create your altar, sit down at your altar, do that meditation. We have so many on the podcast for free. If you're in spirit sessions, any of those meditations, you can also just intuitively sit and meditate and just feel out in front of me my active intention for my health, for my career, for my relationships, for my children. And you just see that out in front of you, out in front of your physical body. And then work with that, just praying into that, giving energy into that, focusing into that, and then moving your attention behind you. That is the realm of the unmanifest, and opening to the back body. And you'll start to feel over time that you kind of sit in the middle and you can feel that back body of energy energizing the front, sending energy to the front, opening ourselves to the endless possibilities and potentials of the back. Dark, night, front body, light, material world. Those two worlds start to meet in the middle. What a beautiful place to be. Happy winter solstice. And by the way, we only have, less than a month left to join us for a whole year of this, a whole year of meditation, of rituals, of Ayurvedic lifestyle. We begin January 17th. We are filling up with the most amazing women from all over the world. It truly is a gathering of like-minded souls. I hope to see you there for a full year together in the Shakti School. Links below. A big special thanks to Kevin Carlisle of Goodbye Gemini, who wrote this beautiful podcast music, and to DJ Juan Pablo Jimenez in southern Spain for mixing it and making it magic.